The Joe Rogan Experience.
Future science.
Yeah, that's what you're into.
I'm way into future science. I wish we lived in the future.
So that's where ghosts fit in?
I
your
think
future science?
future science, I just think time is an illusion. I think that I'm more, did you ever see Interstellar?
Yes.
I'm more in that zone. That's smacked of good science to me. Like, I was like, yes.
So when you say time's an illusion, you mean like the watch is real? Like if it says 4:30, that's when the movie starts, right? That's all real.
No, that's just coordination. It's within our species, we're coordinating together. We're
Right.
working as an ant colony. We're sending signals, which happen to be time signals. We're
Right.
using math to coordinate.
But if you go
between us.
underwater and hold your breath for 5 minutes, that's real 5 minutes.
No, that's just when you run out of oxygen.
So that 5 minutes, it's the counting of that time
Doesn't mean anything.
doesn't mean anything.
No, doesn't mean anything.
But if someone's 5 minutes late, you're like, bitch, you're 5 minutes late. You're like, no, this doesn't mean anything.
Well, I'm never mad about that because I'm always late. So,
Oh, okay. That's interesting. Well, the only time supposedly is now, and everything else is just our pathetic attempts at measuring it and trying to.
that's just
Put it into a
coordination
box.
on people. Like that's
Right.
all we're doing. Like, how old are you? And then that just means how crispy you are from going around the sun. That's not like really anything.
Like a rotisserie.
Yeah, you're like, sorry,
Right.
skin crackling. It's just kind of that. And to me, like time is it's just space. It's like how far are you away from this gravitational pull? I think gravity is way more interesting. I think
It's
time
definitely
is just
interesting.
us coordinating with math.
Well, we definitely are, but it's also like when the sun's coming up. Like, check your watch, 6:15, sun's coming up. That's a real thing.
We're just clocking a spin of an
Right.
Earth.
Yeah.
That's the same thing with the lungs underwater. The Earth spins.
I agree
So,
with you and disagree with you at the same time.
Yeah, that's fine.
I think you're right, but I also think the fucking movie starts at 4:30.
But that's another human putting
Yep.
on a movie.
It's true.
So you're just
Yep.
coordinating with.
Right.
Give me an example of time that is a manifest thing outside of human coordination.
Well, you could. The oldest
And
star.
I don't mean like things happening. I
Right.
mean time.
Just
There's
time
no-
itself.
Like, is that helpful in any way other than for us? I don't think it exists in the universe, really.
Well, if the universe had a Big Bang, and that was a point
I don't know
where
if
it started,
I believe the Big Bang. Sorry.
what do you think?
I think we're looking at, okay, black holes. You know
Right.
what? Okay, say there's a train, right? We're at a depot.
Okay,
I love that word.
Train
we're at a
depot.
Depot.
like Home Depot or
A train depot.
okay, okay,
And there's like a giant butt of a train, right? Huge. I don't know, 20 feet tall, 18 feet wide. Filled with that that feeling of like, oh my God, there's great mechanical power. And then it leaves the depot, but you're still there. You didn't get on it.
right.
And it just travels in the distance into a tinier speck until it's just a little point until you can't see it anymore. Did the train shrink?
No,
Okay. So when you see all this matter going into a black hole, is it really hitting a singularity? Are we really condensing matter to that extent? Or is it just condensing to a certain extent and traveling in the distance? Is it going somewhere? And that's why we perceive it as gone. It's basically.
have you ever run this by an astrophysicist?
Then they break out the wormhole, but that's not the same thing. That's not what I'm saying. And I
Well-
think the Big Bangs are the other end of that process.
The under end of the process of coming out. That's a real thought. They think that, well, every galaxy has a supermassive black hole that's
In the center of it.
1/2 of 1% of the mass of the entire galaxy. So the larger the galaxy, the larger the supermassive black hole. The prevailing theory is that, or one of the prevailing theories, I should say, inside every black hole may be another universe. It's entirely possible
Exactly.
that there's another universe of hundreds of billions of galaxies, each with supermassive black holes in the center of them. And you go through that one, you go into, it's fractal. It just goes on
Yes.
forever and ever and ever. That's
Exactly.
entirely possible.
That's
too.
my philosophy. And I think the whole universe is spinning. I think the whole thing's a spiral deal.
I think they think that, don't
And
they?
then within the spiral, you get the eddies, right? Which are the galaxies and the irregularities and stuff, but the whole shebang is also spinning.
That multiverse idea is like legit scientists talk about that now.
But that's
there might
different.
be infinite numbers
Multiverse-
of universes.
Yes, I agree
Yeah.
with that.
And
That makes
this-
so much more sense.
Well, it makes some kind of look. The people that go, "Oh, that's crazy." Well, the universe is crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy that you look out and you see forever. That's crazy. That's pretty
Right.
fucking crazy.
And when you look
know?
up, you're looking out.
Yeah.
You're sitting on the side of a planet looking
You're in the
out.
middle of the whole thing. Right?
Yeah.
You're in the middle of this soup of reality. But to think that that's crazy, but that's as crazy as it gets, like says who? Why wouldn't you think there's fucking infinite numbers of these things out there? That we're just a part of something that's so big. Like if you looked at all the zeros on that number, you wouldn't even be able to wrap your head around it. You'd be like, what? What's a billion? How many zeros is that? How many billions is this? How many trillions is in a billion? What? There's no way.
That thing,
it's
have
too
you ever,
much.
There's this enigma thing. I love it so much. It's talking about it. It has to do with why we haven't seen aliens yet.
The Fermi paradox? you're talking about?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think that's it. Yeah.
The Fermi paradox is like questioning why, because there's so many different so many different planets that could potentially support life. They're like if there's 100 billion galaxies or hundreds of billion, each one has hundreds of billions of stars. How many of those have habitable planets? And if so, why haven't they contacted us? Yeah.
And like the math is overwhelming that either we're the first or they kill all the comers or we're like.
Or we turn inward and go into the
I need more
hyper
pop
world.
for that.
Yeah.
What's the turn
Like,
inward?
I
Wait,
think
what's
turn
the
inward is the idea that we all go virtual and that we become some sort of a symbiotic thing connected to this hive mind, this real electronic reality.